So my buddy's carbon bike broke again. And I'm gonna show you what I've done so far to fix it up. So basically what happened is the seat stay came loose from the bond and it's kind of jiggling there. Really, I think the bolt just kind of reamed itself out in the dropout. And this happened before on the other side. So we'll just take a closer look here. You can see there's kind of like white stuff around it. So basically what I did is I just put this cheap dollar store crazy glue where the bolt had been reamed out in the dropout, and it's held so far. It's now happened on the other side and I've done the same thing. So you can see here that I've just kind of poured a whole bunch of glue in there to just tighten it all back up. And I've used kind of a little system here with a tube to keep it all together. And it's more like a tourniquet type system, and it's really, really tight. There you go, it's nice and tight. So I'm just gonna take it apart here. At this point, it's been kind of sitting for a couple days. Then we're gonna test it out and see how well it held. The other side didn't hold quite as well. It still feels a little bit loose. And we're just gonna check now and see how tight I got this one. And just remember, this is like cheap dollar store glue. So, you know, like I'm not expecting the world, but I'd still like to see how well it does. And I'm just gonna do the tap test here, like really fast. You would hear kind of like a twang, and I'm not really hearing that. It sounds really good. It sounds nice and tight. It feels nice and tight, and I think it's all right. Now, here's a problem that some people have with another video, and in general, that you don't put a carbon fiber frame into the clamp of a bike stand, but you can do it. It's okay. Now look here, you see? Like I put it in and it's totally fine. This bike, I'm just gonna have to take off the crank here because I don't have the chain ring to make kind of a single speed or anything, or any kind of speed. So what I did is I'm just gonna take this off, and once I do that, I'm just gonna have to check the spindle length on the bottom bracket. I'm just gonna use my caliper here with extra long arms to measure the bottom bracket spindle. And there you go, it's about 110 millimeters. And I'm just gonna put this old rear derailleur on here, just so that I can get some tension on the chain. And what I did is I bought a cheap chain. I bought like a whole bunch of these. They were like $2 or something, or $3 over on Bezos Bargain Bin. And you know, they look pretty good. I'm just gonna open up the package here, and I'm gonna fast forward it because it took like forever. If they did anything right, it was packaged them really nicely. And I'm just gonna pull out the quick link here, and it's in this little Ziploc bag, and yeah, I'm just gonna pull it out. I'm not gonna reuse it. And I also bought this crank here that I got on sale. Same place, Bezos Bargain Bin, and it's a bologna brand. Okay, whatever. It's bologna brand. So anyways, it's like a single speed crank, and I'm just going to attach it here to the bottom bracket. Now, what I didn't show here is I just changed the bottom bracket. The one that was on there was 110 mil, and what I did is I changed this one to 124 mil. Mostly because what I want is a chain line that's going to sit on the smallest cogs, because I'm going to test this out on the trainer first before I endanger my buddy and let him ride it outside. And then it breaks on him and he wipes out, and you know how it is. So I'll just put the the crank on, put the pedals on, and I'm just gonna put that chain that you saw on, and I'm just gonna whip through it here. You know, some people have trouble with this that I've noticed, so you just kind of feed it through, and it's a little bit of a pain, and you know, fast forward looks really, really fast. So there we go. We're just going to check the chain size, and I think because it's a longer cage rear derailleur that I'm not going to have to cut any of the chain. It looks like it's going to work out just fine. So I'm going to put the quick links on here, and just use my quick link closer. I'm testing it out here, and I'm hearing it rub on the bottom jockey wheel, so the guide wheel. And so, you know, I screwed up. I messed up, and I'm just going to have to take it apart and remove a little bit of the chain. There we go. I got my opener up, and I got my chain tool. I just took off like 2 links, I guess. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep them just in case I need them for later, or if I need them for another chain or whatever. There we go. Just put the quick link back on, use the closer. Now we'll test it out again. And there we go. Like, we got a little bit more tension on the cage, and the chain is running nice and smoothly. But it's on the second last cog, and what I want is for it to be on the smallest cog, because that's the cog that if it gets worn out on the trainer, I don't really care. Like, nobody really uses those, and you know, it's actually the easiest to replace because, as I said, nobody ever uses them. So just watch here. You just open up the lower limit screw, and it'll just fall into place. I'm just going to make sure that there's no rubbing and that the chain is actually centered on the cog. There we go. It sounds pretty good. So just see how far I can take it. There we go. We kind of want it as far out as possible, and that way we guarantee there's not going to be any chain rub on the next cog. Okay, perfect. So there we go. I have the chainstay all glued in. I put on this new crank, new bottom bracket, and new chain on this older long cage rear derailleur, and I'm gonna leave you here and I'm gonna go test it out on my trainer. Thanks for watching, and I'll provide an update on how well my fix worked as soon as I know.